Hi, I'm Bee from Plant Bee Life, and this is my first video, fifth attempt, in response to Anna from Fermented Homestead and Fermented February. As I'm sitting listening to her video on fermented feed, I'm peeling buckets and buckets and buckets of garlic that I had in storage because it's that time of year where it either needs to stay or go, and there was a lot that was going. As she's talking about fermented feed, I'm thinking about when I've done it and how I incorporate oregano from the garden or anything that will help my chickens with their general health. And I'm sitting there and I'm throwing into a big 5-gallon compost bucket garlic that is really questionable. Really, like, it was sprouting, it wasn't nasty, it was nasty, it was really, really nasty. But it wasn't moldy. It wasn't too bad. So I'm throwing that into the bucket. And then I'm taking the ones that are like, hey, I'm going to dehydrate this. And I'm putting that in another bucket because I have buckets and buckets of garlic in storage. And then I get to some that are like, this is nice stuff. I'm going to puree it, put it in ice cube trays, put it in the freezer, fresh use. Awesome. And then I'm thinking about the whole idea of what Fermented February was about. And it was taking what you have and what you can get and making something healthy and beneficial to not only you, but our chickens or livestock or whatever. So I'm peeling all this garlic and I am like hours into watching all these Fermented February videos to get caught up. So today's the last day. And I'm like, why am I this is going to go, the idea was that this was the last crappy bucket was going to go in the compost pile. And I'm like, why am I throwing this away? Why am I doing that? This still has a use. It has a plan B in its life. And that is to make a ferment for starter for my chicken feed or to add to my fermented chicken feed, which I do every year. Mostly for spring and summer to help with hydration, and the temperatures are good and I don't need to do it in the house. I can do it out in the chicken shed, whatever. So as I start digging through the compost bucket, picking up the good garlic to do this ferment with, and then I'm thinking about all the things that I have that are like, they've been sitting there for a long time because I haven't been able to use all of it. It's not that I forgot about it. It's that there's too much. I have oregano that's been sitting 3 years. I have hot jars and jars and jars and jars of dried hot peppers that I will incorporate into their feed in the fall and in the winter to boost the egg production, which actually does work. I use the oregano for when I feel that they've got respiratory things. We've had cold, we've got damp. I'm giving them a little extra boost. But other herbs and spices and all these different things that I have that I would normally throw away or put on the compost, where now I can use them. So taking everything I've learned and everything it's been reminded to me of for Fermented February and incorporating that into taking stock of what I have, taking the idea of stock rotation, things that are old, you don't want to throw, find another use for those things. Come on, So pulled out all the old garlic, put it in a 7-gallon bucket, which it filled halfway full, threw in some old ginger carrots that I forgot about in the back of the fridge, threw that in water, and went out to the shed and got the salt from when I made lardo from our pigs from last year, because I couldn't stand to throw it away. I'm reusing, recycling, having a plan B, a C, or D use for the things that I have on my property, for the things that I have in my home, the things that I grew or raised or whatever. And I'd like to thank Anna, all the contributors to Fermented February, For Heidi for talking about fermenting dried herbs. Game changer. Hello. Oh my gosh, now I'm looking all through all my shelves. So thank you very much. Think about how else you can use things and not just getting an idea of you're going to do something, going out and buying it because it's instant. Think about long term. I saved that salt for over a year from the lardo because I was like, I'm not throwing it away. Think about how you can use these key components throughout the year to achieve your goals and paying for them one time. Thank you. Thank you, Anna. Thank you for all the contributors. Happy Fermented February.